Hello, hello, and welcome to the show. You are watching It's a Woman's World, and I am Nadia Jordana, sitting in for Jamila Pettiford, who is performing today, but she also has a birthday and all kinds of events going on. We have a wonderful and very interesting program for you today planned. We're going to be talking about day trips and weekend excursions that you can do pretty much at a moment's notice around here, starting from the Twin Cities, emanating outward to northern Minnesota, southern Minnesota, maybe western Wisconsin, and even Iowa if somebody has some suggestions. But first, let me introduce my other panelists. I have Candy Pettiford. Hi, Candy. Nice to have you here today.
I am so glad to be here today. It's great. I hear you guys got a little rain, but we've got sunshine here and I'm smiling all the way through it. I'm
You know,
glad to be here.
you brought the sunshine over here to us.
Yay.
Beverly Crosby.
Hi, Candy and Nadia. Oh, we have some fun things to talk about today. I'm really looking forward to this program.
This is going to be a good one. I think we'll start off with Candy. Candy, why don't you tell us some of the interesting things you have to share?
Oh, well, one of the things is I was born in St. Paul, but my family moved first to Scandia. And then after moving from Scandia, moved to Lindstrom. But I have a quick story about Scandia. I used to do a lot of acting and whatever. And I told my mom about it. And I said, Mom, I'm going to go to Scandia and do a show. She said, Oh, I'd love to come. So, I let people know that my mother would be there. Well, at the end of the show, everybody did not come up to me. They came up to my mother, who they knew who lived in Scandia for all those years. And they all lined up for her in Scandia. And I love Scandia. Scandia has really good restaurants, real old, good time, yummy food. So Scandia is a nice place to visit if you have not been there. And then onward to Chisago City. Chisago City band with Lindstrom, and I'll get back to Lindstrom. But a little tidbit about Chisago City. My youngest sister was the first African American Black child that was born in Chisago. My mom said she overheard nurses whispering, saying, "Well, what do we do with her hair? Wow, we've never had a little Black child before." And so Chisago City is historical for the first African American baby being born there, which was my baby sister named Joan. So Chisago City has a nice restaurants too, but not as great as Lindstrom, where I went to school in Lindstrom. They have a cafe, a restaurant there. I hope it's still got the same name, but it used to be called the Rainbow Cafe. And their donuts. Woo-hoo-hoo. People say to die for. I say to live for, because you want to eat their donuts and great coffee, good service. It's a Lindstrom is great. And of course, we always talk about the little teapot, and Lindstrom was named after a guy named Daniel Lindstrom. And so he founded the town. And so Lindstrom is also known for having, if you start going towards Schaefer, you'll run into a Dairy Queen. Another place. The Dairy Queens there, when they give you a malt, you've had a malt. Some of this stuff that they have now, it's like, they give you good malts or good ice cream, made real down home, just wonderful. So that's a good part passing through to Lindstrom. So then going on through, you go on to Schaefer. Schaefer was a small little town that lot of the kids did go to school. And I think I kind of went to kindergarten in Schaefer, and very, very fun little cute little town. Then keep on going on, you can run into Taylor's Falls. Oh, Taylor's Falls, beautiful. I had a friend who loved to rock climb, and he would rock climb in Taylor's Falls. He had an area where you could just go and hook your rope up there and start climbing up, and just have a good time coming up and down. And they've ever never talked about any accidents or somebody getting hurt, because they were always very careful with guarding and everything. So Taylor's Falls is beautiful, beautiful place. And so then after Taylor's Falls, let's talk about Stillwater. Stillwater runs deep. So Stillwater is a great place. I love, they have different festivals in Stillwater. And if you go at the right time, you can get different wonderful foods. They have very quaint, cute little shops, wonderful shops that have been there for years, handed down from family to family to family. And then you can, in the Stillwater, you can stand and overlook, and you can see the river, and it's just, it's a beautiful place to go. Let me look at my notes to see if I've gotten everything about that, about Stillwater.
While you're doing that, for people who maybe haven't been there, what does it take? About a half hour to get there? Maybe 40 minutes at the most, I would say.
From St. Paul to, are you talking about the Stillwater or to Lindstrom?
Let's say to Taylor Falls, Stillwater and Taylor Falls.
Stillwater and Taylor's Falls. I'm going to say give yourself enough time.
Yeah.
Give yourself a good hour.
Okay.
Give yourself a good hour to take your travel, and you're going to see the beautiful sights along the way. And coming from St. Paul, of course, you'll go through Forest Lake. I know you've heard of Forest Lake. And so you pass through Forest Lake, and then go to Chisago City, then you go to Lindstrom, then you go to Stillwater's and Taylor's Falls.
Because it's actually Taylor Falls and Stillwater are right on the same in the Mississippi River. So it's very picturesque, and there's some bluffs as well. Yes.
Picturesque is the word, very much so. I've taken many a picture with my family standing against the St. Croix or just leaning against the fence there. But we loved going around to the shops. The shops were the places to be. I mean, just nice little antique dress shops where people had made antique clothes or hats, all kinds of different things, and good restaurants, good food, good restaurants. So I think that would be something that people should really check that out. Taylor's Falls, Stillwater, really, really check those places out, because they're wonderful, wonderful. And go on a beautiful day. Don't go in the winter time. No, I would say July, August. Oh, beautiful. And
take a riverboat excursion.
Absolutely, absolutely. But not only that, though, too, in the fall, the leaves and the colors as you're driving up there, it is just beautiful. So I think fall is a good time to go as well towards Taylor's Falls and Stillwater. You get just, everything is so breathtaking. Nature really comes alive. So that's what I would say, that my trip, I would say.
That's a fantastic loop through there. That'd make a great day trip, even an overnighter.
Oh, absolutely.
Could have a lot of fun.
You're right, because they've got a lot of nice little bed and breakfasts, little quaint places that you can stay and spend the night. Oh, absolutely. Very good. Very good, Nadia.
And you know, you could even go, if you had the wherewithal, you could even go cross-country skiing in the winter's time. Just say.
That's true. Just yeah, I did. Just for those who who do like the winter, but it is so picturesque
It is.
in the summer and the fall.
It is. And I'm going to take over now, Candy, and talk about a couple of excursions that I like to do. I think one of the things I'm going to mention to start off is that if you do a good Google search, there are lists of fairs and festivals, and there's more than one, but one good comprehensive list of Minnesota festivals is for this year, it's the 2024 Minnesota Festival Guide. And that's festivalguidesandreviews.com. We'll give you the link. But that carries with it and gives you, if you get up in the morning and have no idea where to go and what to do, pop in there on that website. In fact, print it out before your summer starts, which would be right now, and keep it as a handy reference, because there's a dozen things on there, and I might get back to a couple things on there yet. But one of the things I wanted to mention, which here in the Twin Cities, I haven't heard a lot of people mention anymore, because I think they believe that once it had gone away, that it never came back. And what I'm referring to is Paul Bunyan Land. Everybody that is about my age, as small children, remembers Paul Bunyan Land in Brainerd. But
Yes.
a good number of years ago, it got bulldozed and everything moved off and put on mothballs as they expanded the city. But what a lot of people don't know is that it's back in a new location just east of Brainerd, on property owned by another wonderful place to visit, is This Old Farm. So I think those are the people that probably bought it. Nevertheless, they are right next to each other on adjoining property. And I don't think people realize that it's back in full swing, bigger and bigger and better than it ever was before. And you can have a terrific time at the Paul Bunyan Center and think your day is full and finished, as I did. And then, oh my gosh, here's This Old Farm. It's not just a couple of old buildings reconstructed. The thing is huge, and there are blacksmith shops, all different kinds of things from that would give you the idea of what it was like to live in Minnesota about the time we became a state, 150, 175 years ago. That kind of buildings and displays. I happened to be able to be there on the day they had a tractor parade, and I swear there must have been more than 100 different kinds of tractors, some of which I actually recognized and remembered. It's a great
John Deere. I know you're going to say John Deere.
Oh, there was a lot of John Deere's in there. Absolutely. That's the ones I remember. And going back to, well, here, we'll catch another thing. Let's say it's a rainy day and you want to run out with a couple of the grandkids and do something. Go south to Austin, Minnesota. And you can go on a sunny day too, but this is an indoor event. This is an indoor exhibit. These are indoor activities. Go to the Spam Museum. Stop laughing. Stop laughing. It's a fun day for old and young alike. There are activities you can participate in. There are things you can see. And of course, there are restaurants in Austin, Minnesota, where you can have a wonderful lunch or evening dinner after your day is over. So really, go to the Spam Museum. I also, one day, a girlfriend of mine and I decided to go and see if the Jolly Green Giant was still there in Blue Earth, Minnesota. And we did that. It's a fun thing to get your picture taken with the Jolly Green Giant, although really only his feet and boots will be in the close-up picture. But Blue Earth also has some charming restaurants that you can have a nice, leave the house in the morning, go up there, spend some time, see the Jolly Green Giant. If you get there at a time when there's a festival, they do have a couple of festivals in that town, which will be on the list that I mentioned, and then have lunch in town. And that are three of the things that I did a year or so ago, and had great times doing that with different friends and a couple of times with the grandkids. And I'm thinking about if there's anything else that might be kind of fun. Oh, there's a Rib Fest in Mankato, Minnesota.
Mankato.
Mankato is fun. It's south and to the other side. And that town has half a dozen different festivals that happen throughout the year. There's a book festival in October every year. There's the Rib Fest, which I think is an entire weekend event. And the town itself is cultural, has all kinds of beautiful restaurants, a terrific college. Those are some of the things that you can do. And that is still, oh, what is that? Maybe a 2-hour drive out of the Twin Cities, maybe 2.5, something like that. So it's a little bit of a longer day, but no longer than it takes to get up to the Brainerd Lakes area.
Yeah, Mankato's, I have friends that live there, and it's a very active town. They have a lot of events going on, as you said.
Yeah.
In the southern part of the cities, I live out in Apple Valley, it's about an hour and 20 minutes. So, but if you're on the north side of the city, add another half hour. But yeah, a couple hour drive at the most, probably. And in fact, Nadia, the Austin and the other places that you were talking about, they're all within probably about a 2-hour radius, wouldn't you say, from the Twin Cities?
Yeah, I would say so.
So
I'm interested now in what you have, Beverly.
Yes, let's hear.
Yeah, well, I tell you, you can lay out plans sometimes and have everything scheduled, and I think you've got everything right in place, and then one little thing changes and it sets everything off. And so I'm quite a spontaneous person. I like to do some last minute trips, outings, and I call them my adventure days. And with adventure days, I'll get a friend and we'll have an idea of maybe the direction we want to go, but we don't, and maybe have an idea of some of the things that might be out there, but a lot of times just get in the car and see where the car takes us, which is really fun. Yeah. And so you might, there's times when you get in the car, and again, I go, well, we haven't been south of the cities. Let's take a look. Let's go southeast. We haven't gone in that direction before, so let's give that a try. May stop somewhere along the way for breakfast. And you can always find a VFW hall in most small towns where they serve a wonderful breakfast. You don't go away there hungry for sure. And then get back in the car, maybe check out a few shops and keep on going. One of my favorite places that I've been is Lake Pepin. And Lake Pepin is only about, I would say, depending again what part of the city you live on, but I'm going to say about an hour. Give yourself an hour, hour and a half to get there. But you can stop in Hastings and get a nice breakfast along the way if you want. Or there's even there's a number of small towns along the way that you can stop at. But Lake Pepin, let me just tell you a little bit about the lake. I'm going to read a couple of things. Lake Pepin is it's a naturally occurring lake along the Mississippi, and it's on the border of Minnesota and Wisconsin. It is 21 miles long,
Ooh,
and it's 1 mile and 1.7 miles wide. So it's a big lake.
yes.
It covers over 29,000 acres, and it has a maximum depth of 60 feet. So it's a very deep, lake as well, and in most of it. It's the birthplace of water skiing. Who would have known? Back in 1966, the American Water Ski Association officially recognized Lake City and Lake Pepin as the birthplace of water skiing. And they have a lot of boat tours on some of the weekends. I went there with a friend of mine once. We took off on an adventure day. We stopped and had breakfast and went down there and kind of headed in that direction. And right next, of course, and right alongside Lake Pepin is Red Wing, the city of Red Wing. Lots of Nadia. I know you and
Yes.
you've been there too.
Oh,
Wonderful little shops, restaurants along the way.
yes.
Isn't that where the Grumpy Old Men movie was made? Was right along that area in the Red Wing, I think.
I think it's just Sago City.
Oh, Wabasha, which
Wabasha? Okay.
yeah, which I think is right. Anyways, in that area as well. But so we just drove around the lake. Back then, did not know how far around it was. And we kept going and going and going. But you can go around, literally, you can drive around the whole lake and come back on the bridge, back into Red Wing. And along the way, you have nice little town, almost like little settlements, where you might find a nice cafe along the river and where you can look out on the patio, be on the patio, have a burger. Just a beautiful, serene, if you want something really relaxing, it's just, you can't not get relaxed, taking a drive around there. It's really that beautiful. So have you both been there?
Yeah, and it's fun to visit the lock and dams along the way. There are 2 or 3 that is fun to take a picnic lunch and go over there and watch the barges and boats come through the lock dam.
Yeah, very interesting. The barges and the boats, very interesting.
And so I actually have some tips when you're going on one of these when you go away for a day or a weekend trip. We have some tips for preparing for that day. Things that you might want to take along. I'm going to read a few, and I'm sure you guys might think of some too. Okay, from my list, comfortable walking shoes. You never know when you're going to get out of your car and decide to take a little hike, right? Okay, a jacket, an extra jacket, sweater, because you might get chilly. The weather could change. Snacks and beverages. How many times you're driving along, it's like, oh, hungry, but there's not a cafe here, and I don't want to. Maybe you're going around the lake and, you just want to keep going, but you're a little bit hungry. Maybe you're going to stop somewhere. A good book or a magazine to look at. A notebook or a journal. I know, Candy, I've heard you mention that before, that even when you go on a plane, you take a notebook because you might have some ideas and write some things down. And Nadia, you're a writer, and you might have some ideas. You might see something that inspires you. It's always a good idea to have a battery charger for your phone. Now, I don't know about you, but
True.
and you look and you think, I've got 5 minutes left on my phone. Oh no. Bug spray with summertime, we tend to forget about that. Good to have that. If you're in a park, you want to walk through. And in a lot of parks, they're already sprayed, but there may be an area that's not. Umbrella.
That's funny you say that, bug spray, because many times on Lindstrom, our dog has got wood ticks.
Oh.
So That bug spray really is good. Yeah.
Yeah. And we got about 2.5 minutes left here, but I just have a couple other things. An umbrella, good idea, especially if think about walking downtown Stillwater, like you were saying, Candy. You're going to be outdoors, you're going to be in and out of shops, you never know when it's going to rain. Bring your umbrella. Maybe a blanket. If you want to throw a blanket down on the grass somewhere in a park, or and have a picnic. And
A little picnic. Yeah.
picnic, yep. Even a folding chair, if you got a couple folding chairs that you can put in the back end.
Good idea.
And a camera. Now we have our phones, so that serves, thank goodness, but sometimes people would prefer to use a camera as well. But those are some of my ideas, and I know we have a couple minutes left. So what do you have some other thoughts about things to take? Or
I love the idea of protection from rain, and the umbrella would also serve for sun. But I really love the idea of picnic lunches. That's one of my favorite things that Chuck and I did a lot when we were dating. And it's something we can still do, even though we've been together for a long, long time and are less mobile and not so much for climbing rocks anymore and heavy duty hiking, but we can still go picnicking.
yes, yeah.
I like the fact of just getting out, but make sure, one of the things I say, make sure you have a compatible friend. Because some person's like, well, I don't like that, and you're like, oh wow, just you're a downer. So make sure that the person you're with is a real upbeat person.
That's really important. That's for sure, because that can be a long time in the car otherwise.
Oh, boring.
Or what kind of music do I have? But I usually find the adventure days. Well, I always call them adventure days because they always turn out to be quite the adventure, and we have so much fun. I don't remember one that was ever, but like you said, go with somebody that you enjoy being with. That's really important as well. And
Oh, you really do, really do.
yeah. So anyway, you know what? We are out of time. I hate to say that, but
Wow.
I know, didn't that go fast? But I hope that our viewers have actually picked up some tips today on some ideas of places they can go, and how to go about it, getting ready to go. And with that, it's been a fun time.
Oh, yes.
Viewers, thank you for joining us today. We've had a good time. I hope you have too. We'll see you next time on It's a Woman's World.